In this video, I'll show you how to be Uncle Jim with SeedSigner. So basically in this video, I'll show you how to create offline Bitcoin wallets for your friends and family using SeedSigner. If you don't have a SeedSigner already, I'll show you how to build one in another video. And I also have videos on how to use your SeedSigner with Blue Wallet and Sparrow. I will leave a link to all my SeedSigner guides below. There are two main ways to generate new wallets for your friends and family. Firstly, you can simply generate a new seed for each family member or friend, then load the public key onto their wallet like Blue Wallet, and they will now have a perfectly functional Bitcoin wallet and their seed phrase stored offline. So you would hand everything over to them and they go on their way. They're all sorted. They now have a Bitcoin wallet. The advantage with this method is that only they can access the funds because you do not store the seed. You've given them everything, all the credentials they need. The disadvantage is that if they lose their seed, their funds are gone. They have no one to fall back on to recover those funds for them. If you would prefer this method, I already have a video on how to generate new seeds with your SeedSigner and how to export them to Blue Wallet or Sparrow Wallet. I suggest you go ahead and watch that video if you prefer this option. Just keep in mind, once you've created your seed, backed it up and given it to them, they need to understand that that seed backs up their funds. If they lose that seed, their funds are gone. Option 2 is to use BIP 85. BIP 85 allows you to generate one parent seed. Then from that parent seed phrase, you generate a whole bunch of child seeds that are dependent on that parent seed. The main idea here is that you store one parent seed, which generates the child seeds, and then you can distribute those child seeds to your friends and family. And if they lose their seed phrase, you can just generate their seed again from the parent seed that you hold. Let me get out a piece of paper just so I can explain this visually and it will make a bit more sense. Alright, here I have my piece of paper and this is a brief explanation of BIP 85. What BIP 85 essentially allows you to do is to generate many Bitcoin wallets from one seed phrase. So to do this, you need to firstly generate a parent seed. So over here we start with a parent seed, and then from that parent seed we can generate a whole bunch of child seeds. So from this parent we can get child 0, child 1, child 2, and this essentially goes on forever. You can generate as many child seeds as you want. And each one of these child seeds is a completely unique Bitcoin wallet with its own unique 12 or 24 words. And these are all completely functional Bitcoin wallets. So when generating seeds for your family using BIP 85, what you would do is firstly start with this parent seed, and then you need to secure this yourself. So this seed will belong to you. You will be responsible for the parent seed. Now what you would do is go ahead and generate a whole bunch of child seeds using your SeedSigner, and you would give all the childs to your friends and family who want a Bitcoin wallet. So for example, child 0 might go to Bob, child 1 might go to Alice, and child 2 might go to your dad. So now Bob, Alice, and your dad all have completely unique Bitcoin wallets. But if they lose their seed phrase, you can go ahead and generate these seeds again using the parent seed. So they basically cannot lose their funds, assuming that you secure the parent seed correctly. One thing that's important to note is that you should keep track of this index, because index 0 from this parent seed will always create Bob's wallet. And index 1 will always create Alice's wallet, and index 2 will always create Dad's wallet. So make sure to write down who has what index. Another thing to note is that you cannot generate the parent seed from the child seed. You can only generate the child seed from the parent. So quick recap of how this all works. Firstly, we generate a parent seed, which you keep. From that parent seed, you can derive a whole bunch of child seeds and give each of those seeds to whoever wants a wallet. Each of those seeds is a completely unique and functional Bitcoin wallet. Then if they ever lose their seed, you can generate it again using the parent. And that is how BIP 85 works. Back to the video. The advantage with this method is that the funds can still be recovered if your friend or family lose their seed, because you still have that parent seed. The disadvantage is that you essentially have access to their funds, which is counterparty risk for them. For your friends and family, you are counterparty risk. It also makes you a bit more responsible for their Bitcoin, because if that seed is stolen, the attacker may be able to access everyone's funds if they know what to do. Alright, now let's boot up the SeedSigner and I'll show you how to use BIP 85 for your friends and family using the SeedSigner. Alright, here I have my SeedSigner booted up. Unfortunately, my screen has a bit of damage there, but that doesn't matter. And what we're going to do is generate some BIP 85 wallets. So step 1 is to generate our parent seed. So this will be the main seed that we have to secure, which will generate all the children's seed, which we'll give out to our friends and family. To generate the parent seed, we want to go to Tools, and then go to either New Seed with Camera, New Seed with Dice Rolls, or we can insert our seed words, and SeedSigner will calculate the final word. The method I like most is Dice Rolls, but for this video, we're going to be using the camera because it's quick and easy. So I'm going to click on the camera, and then just take a photo. Cool, I've taken the photo, now I'm going to push the stick to the right to accept, and I'm going to make my mnemonic 12 words. Now it's going to warn me this is classified info because this is my seed phrase, and anyone with my seed phrase can access my funds. So I click I understand, and it's going to display my words. Now what I need to do is write these words down on a piece of paper. So I write down the first 4 words. I have the first 4 words down, so I click next, and then I go ahead and do this until all 12 words are written down. Okay, I have all 12 words down, as we can see. Now I click next, and now it's going to give us the option to verify this backup, which I suggest you do. You always want to make sure you have the right seed down. So I click verify, and now I need to select the correct word. So word 8 is explain, so I click explain. Word 11 is cave, so I click on cave, and I do this for all 12 words. I have verified all 12 words, and it says backup verified, so I click OK. And now we can finalize our seed by either clicking done or adding a passphrase. Now for BIP 85, you probably don't want to add a passphrase. It just adds extra complexity. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is write down this fingerprint with my seed. There's my fingerprint, and what that fingerprint does is it helps me to identify which seed this is. This is unique for each wallet, so if I remember that 680 is my parent seed, then I'll know these words belong to the parent seed. Cool, so I click on done now, and now we have a few things we can do with this seed. Optionally, you may want to export the seed phrase onto a seed QR, so you would fill in the dots according to what SeedSigner gives you. But in this case, I'm not going to do this now for the parent seed. Instead, I'll do it later for the child seed and show you how to fill in this QR code. Alright, so at this point, we have our parent seed successfully backed up. Now, this is the seed we have to secure. We really want to make sure this is somewhere safe and somewhere private, because this is going to essentially back up all our friends and families' Bitcoin. So this is yours to keep. Let me write that there. This is yours. And if you lose this, then there's a risk that if your friends and family lose their seed, then their Bitcoin is gone. Now let's generate some child seeds. Here back in the SeedSigner, we want to make sure we're on our seed. So if you're not in this screen, just click on seeds, then click on the correct seed. Again, this fingerprint comes in handy. So let's see if they match. Yep, those fingerprints match. So I click on this one, and here's my seed. Now, to generate child seeds, what we need to do is scroll down to BIP 85 child seed. Just click on that, and now we need to select how many words. So I'm going to do 12 words for all of these, and now we need to select an index. As I explained earlier, each index generates a completely unique Bitcoin wallet. So we really need to take note of which index belongs to who. In this example, child 0 belongs to Bob, child 1 to Alice, and child 2 to your mom. So if we open our SeedSigner, to generate Bob's seed, we would go click on 0, which would be BIP 85 at index 0. Then here's our check mark. We need to click key 3, and now we have generated a seed phrase. It says you must keep your seed private and away from online devices, like I did earlier. So I click I understand, and now it's displaying child seed 0. So this will be Bob's child seed. What you would want to do now is write this seed down on a piece of paper for Bob. This is for Bob to take home. This is his seed phrase now. So again, go ahead and write that down. All right, I have all 12 words down. I click on done, and then it's going to ask me to verify this backup. I always recommend you do this. I'm going to skip it just for this video, otherwise it will drag on for too long. So I click skip, but again, you should verify that. Now we're back to our main seed. If we look here, 6080DCD, this is still our main seed. So although we've written down Bob's seed, it isn't actually loaded on the SeedSigner. Even if we go back and then click on seeds, we'll see we only have the parent seed loaded. Now that we've got Bob's seed, I'm going to go down to load a seed and then enter 12-word seed. And now we're going to load Bob's seed or child 1. I forgot to mention that you should write the index here, so child 0. Now let's go ahead and put this seed phrase into the SeedSigner. What I'm going to do is just type it out. So I need to find T. I click on T, then H. Now notice SeedSigner automatically knows which seed words are possible, so it will block out all the characters that can't possibly be used. So if I go to now O, sorry, I've spelled that wrong. I meant to go to E, and then O, and there we can see it's got theory. What I'm going to do is click key 2 to select theory, and now I'm on word 2, and we're going to do this until all 12 words are in. Alright, I inserted all 12 words into my SeedSigner, and now it's allowing me to finalize the seed, and again it's displaying my fingerprint. What I'm going to do is write down this fingerprint again for Bob. So I go B7B73 FE7. Now this is Bob's seed. He's got his seed words, he's got his index saved, and he's got his fingerprint. Again, for BIP 85, I don't suggest you do passphrases. It just adds extra complexity. We're going to skip that and click on done. Now we have Bob's seed loaded on the SeedSigner. And what we want to do for Bob to make his and your life a bit easier is to scroll down to backup seed, then export as seed QR. And now we need to select the format. So from SeedSigner's GitHub, you can get these QR codes, these printable QR codes. I'll leave a link below. My smaller blocks are 7 wide times 3, so that's 21 by 21. And that's the compact version. So I scroll down to compact, and then I click I understand. And this is my seed QR. I need to click begin, and then I can start filling in all the dots. So right now it's displaying A1, which would be the top left block. If I scroll to the right, it's going to open A2. As we can see, that's the top middle. So what I need to do is fill in all these blocks according to what it says on the screen. So let me go ahead and do that for A2. And there we go, all the blocks are filled in for A2. So now what I would do is scroll to the right, and we can see A3 is already filled in. So I scroll 1 down, and now I need to fill in B3, which is this block. And then I go ahead and do that for all the blocks, and I'll be back when that is done. Note that I fill these blocks in, the small blocks with little dots. I find that method a lot easier than trying to fill in the whole block because you make a lot of mistakes when you do that. So just fill a little dot in the block, that works best. Alright, I've gone ahead and filled in that seed QR. Now I'm going to click to exit, and then it's going to give us the option to confirm this seed QR, and you absolutely must do this. It's very easy to mess up this QR code, far easier than it is to mess up the words. So just click on confirm seed QR and scan the QR code, and there we go. The transcribed seed QR successfully scanned and yielded the same seed. So that means this QR code equals this seed, which is what we want. I'm going to click OK. Now on this QR, you may also want to write down the details of it. So for example, child 0. And then you also want to write down the fingerprint. So B73F. You're actually supposed to put the fingerprint at the top, so just swap those around. Now, one other thing you may want to write down is the fingerprint of the parent seed, just so you remember what the parent seed is. I wasn't very smart with my space, So I've gone ahead and put it at the top there, and now I know which is the parent seed. Alright, so we now have Bob's seed loaded onto our SeedSigner. What we want to do now is export this wallet onto their Blue Wallet or Sparrow wallet. Since you're setting wallets up for your friends and family, I'm assuming they'll be using mobile. So I'm going to quickly get out my Blue Wallet. Here I have my Blue Wallet. So you would ask Bob to download Blue Wallet on his phone or whoever you're helping out. Then you would go to your SeedSigner, make sure the seed is loaded up, of course. Then you go to export XPub for single sig, native SegWit for Blue Wallet, and then you click I understand, and then export XPub. Now in Blue Wallet, you click add now under add a wallet, then you click import wallet, then you click scan or import a file, and then we need to scan this QR code that is displaying. Now if it doesn't scan, you can adjust the brightness on the SeedSigner using this left arrow. Up makes it brighter, down makes it a bit darker. Darker is generally better, so make that a bit darker, and then you scan the QR. And there we go. We have imported the wallet. Now it says the wallet has been successfully imported. Warning, this is a watch-only wallet. You cannot spend from it. And that's a good thing. We want this to be a watch-only wallet because the seed phrase is stored offline. The seed phrase must not be on Blue Wallet because then our Bitcoin is on an online device basically. Alright, so now we've exported our XPub and we can exit that screen on SeedSigner and we can move onto Blue Wallet. Now if Bob wants to receive Bitcoin, all he does is click here, then click receive, and then he can start receiving Bitcoin. So at this stage, Bob is ready to go. What you would need to do is just hand over all his credentials. So this all belongs to Bob now. His seed words, his seed QR, the parent seed fingerprint, his fingerprint, and so on and so on. You can give that to Bob, and this is on Bob's phone. You can hand that over to him as well. Now Bob has a perfectly functional Bitcoin wallet. He can start receiving Bitcoin here, but he can't spend it from Blue Wallet because the seed phrase is stored offline. Again, it's super important that Bob understands that this essentially is his Bitcoin. Without this, he absolutely does not have his Bitcoin. For me or you or more experienced Bitcoiners, this is quite an easy concept to understand. For newer people, this is quite a difficult thing to grasp. They think that because the Bitcoin shows here, it's on their phone. That is absolutely not the case. They do not have their Bitcoin here. This is where the Bitcoin is, basically. This is their right to spend their coins. They need to secure this. And in the case that they are irresponsible and they lose that, hopefully you still have the parent seed, which can generate child seed 0, which would recover Bob's Bitcoin. Now, if Bob actually wants to spend his Bitcoin, he'll need to come to you so that he can use your SeedSigner. So Bob must come to you and ask you for help to spend his coins offline, and you'll use the SeedSigner to do that. I have a video on Blue Wallet and SeedSigner which shows you how to spend from Blue Wallet using your SeedSigner. So go and watch that if you need to spend using the SeedSigner. Now, let's say Bob's got a bit of Bitcoin in here, and you go ahead, something bad happens, you aren't available anymore to help Bob get his Bitcoin back. What Bob would need to do if he has his seed words over here, so if he has his seed words, he would need to exit this screen, then add a new Bitcoin wallet, then he would need to click import wallet, and then he would need to insert his seed words into Blue Wallet. It's important to understand that once Bob imports these words into Blue Wallet, the Bitcoin is no longer stored offline because the words are now in an internet connected device. So the Bitcoin would turn from cold storage to hot or a hot wallet, hot storage. And then once he's inserted his words, let's take a look at what that would look like. Once he's inserted his words, he clicks done and import. And now it's going to import this wallet into his hot wallet where he can now spend the coins. He doesn't need the SeedSigner anymore because the seed phrase is loaded into Blue Wallet. What you'll notice is that if you click receive in this wallet, The address ends in 68YMF. And then if we go to this watch only wallet, which we exported from the SeedSigner, and click receive, it also ends in 68YMF. So this is the same Bitcoin wallet. This is the exact same wallet. If this had a balance, this would have the exact same balance. The difference is that this one has the seed phrase. It has the right to spend the coins. So Bob would now be able to spend his Bitcoin. All right, that's BIP85 and how it works. What I'm going to do is generate child seed, the next child seed, just to emphasize my point. So what we want to do is go to tools. We want to go to seeds. Then we want to select the parent seed. So again, this is where the fingerprint comes in handy. The parent seed is 680, so I'm going to click 680. And here we have the parent seed. Now, if I go to BIP85 child seed for 12 words at index 1, and then click confirm, and then I understand, this is a completely new seed. This is child at index 1, we can see there. So this would be Alice's Bitcoin seed phrase and Alice's Bitcoin wallet. So again, you would write these words down. You would export the key using export xpub onto her blue wallet, and then she'd have a perfectly functional Bitcoin wallet. You would give her her phrase, her phone with the wallet loaded, and she can go on her way and start receiving Bitcoin. Now, one more thing I want to show you is, let's say Bob loses his seed phrase. Bob's gone ahead and lost his seed phrase. He was irresponsible, and now he cannot access his Bitcoin. It's lost, essentially. Bob comes to you and asks you to generate his seed phrase again. Luckily, you still have the parent seed because you were responsible, so you can go ahead and generate it for him. Let me show you how that would look. Firstly, I'm going to cut the power on my SeedSigner. So now no seeds are loaded on this device. I no longer have the parent seed. And then I'm going to put power on again, and we'll wait for that to boot up. Here we have our SeedSigner booted up again. And if we go to the seeds, we'll see we no longer have any seeds loaded onto this device. They were completely wiped. Now, to derive Bob's seed again, because he's lost it, we'll need to load this parent seed back onto the SeedSigner. So if I had that QR code inscribed in the seed QR, that would make my life a lot easier, but I don't, so we'll have to use these words. So what I'm going to do is exit this and then go to seeds, then click enter 12-word seed, and now I would enter all 12 words into the device. All right, I've entered all 12 words onto the device, and we can see it's the correct seed because this fingerprint I see on the SeedSigner matches the one I've written down. So now I'm going to click done to load up that seed. Now what we've done is we've loaded up the parent seed that we would hold on to. What we need to do now is generate Bob's child seed. So to do this, we would need the index. I wrote down all my indexes on this piece of paper, so we can see index 0 is Bob's seed, so I would need to load index 0. So what I do is scroll down to BIP85 child seed for 12 words, and here it's going to ask for the index, so I'm going to click on 0, then click the check mark, and then it's going to give me this warning. I click I understand, and here is Bob's seed. Now, we did write down Bob's seed earlier. I didn't actually lose that. I've got it in here. So let's make sure this matches. We see Theory, March, Pyramid, Raven, which matches. Volcano, Breeze, Pledge, Taken, matches. And we've got Matter, Tennis, Pass, Midnight. So this all matches. And then I would skip that. And that's Bob's seed. You would write that down again, and then you'd have to reload it into the SeedSigner, or you could load it into Blue Wallet if Bob needs to spend the Bitcoin. And there we go. That is how to use BIP85 with SeedSigner to create wallets for your friends and family. If you found this valuable, liking and subscribing is free, and you can find all my SeedSigner guides on my website,